Happy November, Seawolves! Welcome back to another edition of the Stony Brook Media Group. I'm Nishta Bogra.
And I'm Maya Duclay, and we have a lot to cover today. Let's start with our international segment presented by Zoe Busowitz. Zoe?
Thank you, Maya. Today, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken is in Israel meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Blinken has told Israeli officials that more must be done to protect Palestinian civilians. This message comes only a day after Israeli strikes killed at least 20 civilians sheltering in refugee camps. Israel refuses a temporary ceasefire until militant group Hamas releases all Israeli hostages, and Israeli troops are now surrounding and advancing into Gaza City. This morning, there was an explosion at Gaza City's largest hospital, damaging at least one ambulance that was allegedly bringing wounded Palestinians south to the Egyptian border. So far, there has been no independent verification of who caused the explosion, how many were killed, or exactly how many ambulances were damaged in the strike. Skirmishes on the Israel-Lebanon border threaten a total outbreak of war in the Middle East. The director of the New York office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has stepped down from his post, stating in a letter, quote, "Once again, we are seeing a genocide unfolding before our eyes, and the organization we serve appears powerless to stop it." More on this story as it develops. Earlier this morning, Russia launched a massive airstrike on Ukraine, targeting cities in the south and west. The attack destroyed civilian infrastructure and private homes. Ukraine claims to have shot down 24 of Russia's 40 drones. Russia has received international criticism for withdrawing from a global treaty preventing the testing of nuclear weapons. The United States particularly condemns this move, and Russo-American relations are at their lowest since the 60s. Russian diplomats claim that they will not resume testing nuclear weapons unless the United States starts first. That's all for international. Back to you, Nishta and Maya.
Thanks, Zoe. Jewish and Israeli students at Stony Brook University are expressing deep anti-Semitism concerns across the country following Hamas's terrorist attack on Israel on October 7th. Our reporter Daniela Rodriguez spoke with a student from Stony Brook Hillel, Roy Harrell, last night.
Our pain is very much collective, and it's very much felt every single day, and it's been really hitting us hard.
Stony Brook President Maureen McInnes has released a statement expressing deep concern about the rise of anti-Semitism nationally on Long Island and on college campuses, citing reported anti-Semitic incidents increasing by 400% in the weeks since the terrorist attacks by Hamas on October 7th. She writes, "We must do everything in our power to combat the disturbing rise of anti-Semitic activity, including violence across the U.S., not only on college campuses." McInnes also expressed her support for members of the campus community, emphasizing that the administration will take action to ensure the safety of the students. Some members of the Stony Brook community, especially Jewish students, felt relieved after seeing the support from the university administration.
I saw the email first, and I can tell you the vibe in the room was just like, finally, we really feel heard, and we feel a lot safer in our university, knowing that anti-Semitism is really being addressed for what it is.
Later next week, our reporter Daniela Rodriguez will bring you more on this story with a special report.
On Thursday, November 2nd, a Stony Brook student's car was vandalized here on campus. A video posted by the student and then circulated on social media shows the student's defaced vehicle with the words "terrorist" and "go to hell" written in red across her window. Later that day, the student brought to social media a statement of her own acknowledging that she knew allegedly vandalized her car as a joke with no ill intent. She further stated that, quote, "It was still very distasteful and I would not consider that a funny joke," among any lines. President Maureen McInnes put out a statement via email to the university later that day, expressing disturbance of the incident, saying, quote, "Demonizing those who disagree with us possesses a threat to our core values of learning, respect, and the value of dialogue." The Stony Brook Media Group will keep you updated with the incident as the story progresses.
Elections are just around the corner, and our political correspondent, Anastasia Poulos, is here to talk about the events of this week. Anastasia?
Thanks, Maya and Nishta. U.S. House member George Santos remains a member of Congress after a vote on Wednesday trying to expel him was not successful. Most Republicans and 31 Democrats voted to withhold punishment against Santos, pending his current criminal trial and House Ethics Committee investigations are all still ongoing, with the final vote being 179 to 213. The vote came after Santos was indicted on 23 federal charges, which he pled not guilty to on October 27th. Some of the federal charges include conspiracy, wire fraud, false statements, falsification of records, aggravated identity theft, and credit card fraud. He also pled not guilty last week to 10 new charges he is facing on Long Island. Santos had this to say in response to the vote.
There is a process in place. I am fighting to clear my name.
Santos has yet to face the criminal trials which will decide if he is convicted. On Thursday, Eric Trump, Donald Trump's son, arrived to court ready to testify. During his testimony, he repeatedly emphasized the fact that he had no idea as to what had been going on because it was his employees handling the financial side of things. After this testimony, Donald Trump Jr. had this to say.
You know what? I think it went really well if we were actually dealing with logic and reason the way business is conducted. But unfortunately, the Attorney General has brought forth a case that is purely a political persecution.
This is a developing story that we will keep you updated with. And finally, in local campus news, Election Day is this coming Tuesday, November 7th. I spoke with the Center for Civic Justice Assistant Director Ashley Mercado on why voting locally is so important to us. Let's hear what she had to say.
I think that a lot of the times people think that only federal elections are important and that voting for a president every 4 years is all you need to do to be involved. But I think a lot of impact actually happens at the local level. And so I think that a lot of issues that our community cares about, the things that you see in your community on a day-to-day basis are actually things that are decided more by our local elected officials and less by the president or Congress or Senate. And so I think that when you trickle it down to all of the issues that, impact your day-to-day activities as opposed to, federal policy and other things that might not impact your every single day living situation, that it actually does happen more so at the local level.
If you are registered to vote on campus, you can vote on Tuesday in the Union Ballroom, which will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you are not registered to vote on campus, be sure to check your polling location by going to vote411.com. That's it for this week's Political Corner. I'm Anastasia Poulos. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Anastasia. Now let's hear from Allison for this week's pop culture update.
Hello, Seawolves, and welcome to the Media Minute, where you get all your updates on pop culture. Sad news in the entertainment world over the weekend as we lost beloved actor Matthew Perry. Perry, who is best known for his role as a comedic and lovable Chandler Bing in the hit sitcom Friends, passed away on Saturday at his home in Los Angeles, California. Fans of the late actor have taken to social media to pay tribute and have even visited the Friends apartment building in New York's West Village by placing dozens of bouquets and handmade signs with phrases like, "The one where we all lost a friend." The Friends cast posted a joint statement on their official Instagram account saying, quote, "We are devastated to learn of Matthew Perry's passing. He was a true gift to us all. Our heart goes out to his family, loved ones, and fans," end quote. In lighter news, Sofia Coppola's new film, Priscilla, is set to hit theaters tonight, starring Kaylee Spaney as Priscilla Presley herself and Jacob Elordi as King of Rock Elvis. The A24 film is based on Priscilla's memoir, Elvis and Me, which recounts the memories that the couple, had shared both through the good and the bad. So if you're looking for something to do over the weekend, this movie's for you. On to the music news. It seems that Jungkook of BTS has not skipped a beat as he has released his first solo album titled Golden. The 26-year-old Korean singer has been putting out music since the boy band announced their hiatus in June of last year. The album features new songs and his popular tracks 7 featuring Lotto and 3D featuring Jack Harlow. In addition, he released a music video for one of his new songs called Standing Next to You, which is my personal favorite of the album. So ARMY, remember to spread love and stream Golden on your music streaming services. Tune in on Monday, November 6th to see Jungkook live on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I know I will. Thank you for tuning in into this edition of the Media Minute. I'm Allison Luna, and make sure to tune in next week for your daily pop culture rundown.
Thanks, Allison. That's it for this week's edition of the Stony Brook Media Group. I'm Nishta Bogra.
And I'm Maya Duclay. Have a great weekend, Seawolves.